Shalom, all praise to Yahweh Shem El Shah, double line to City Apostles GMS. My name is Amnawa Allah, coming at you with another lesson. This is the second part of the video I did not too long ago on to show Israelite foreigners. I couldn't do, well, I was gonna say I couldn't do. I did the whole video, but for one reason or another, the other half I saved over by mistake. So now I'm continuing it now. This is what the second half of that video looked like. So without further ado, I was mentioning in the last show about people that like Israelites, people who are Israelites, but may not necessarily have the physical appearance. And I mentioned Chris Brown's girlfriend. This is Chris Brown's ex-girlfriend, Karuchi Tran, whatever the hell her name is. She looked like a typical black woman. Okay? She looked like she's of another nation. You know? Just gonna scroll through some pictures. Okay? You know? You're gonna have people who look like Israelites, people who don't look like Israelites, but who actually are Israelites. Okay? And I'm going to hit some scriptures on this as well. Okay? See? She don't look like a nigger woman. She don't look like a so-called black woman. Okay? She's like a so-called heathen. That's how she looks physically. And that's what you would assume at first glance. But she's actually an Israelite. Okay? So, let me go to some other stuff here. Alright? Oh, I'm sorry, before I go there, that's how she looks. Look at her mother. Okay? Her mother. See if I can find a picture of her mother. Picture I had before. See if I can find a picture I had on the last show. Here, go right here. Look at her mother. Her mother's not an Israelite woman. Her mother's Vietnamese. Now let's say about 7% her mother is Israelite, but we don't know. But if you look at her appearance, she doesn't look like an Israelite woman. Okay? So her mother is not an Israelite. But her father, this is her father. Okay? Her father's a Jake. Her father's a so-called black man. But her mother's not. And there's a picture of her father doing her hair. Because she went into her father's, she brought up the fact that her father's homosexual. But her father's an Israelite. Okay? So that means regardless of how she looks. Now, I'm not saying she's going to be delivered or nothing. But you're going to have people like this who are Israelites who are going to be a part of that 1/3 that's going to receive salvation. Okay? And that's going to inherit the kingdom. And in the kingdom of heaven, you know, we're going to go back to looking how we looked before. There's no scripture that says that. But in the beginning, you know, you didn't have Israelites that looked like how she looked. Okay? Because you know the Israelites, we were in Egypt, you didn't have Israelites that looked like the way she looked. Okay? Because we lived alongside the Egyptians. Moses lived in Pharaoh's house. So if Moses lived in Pharaoh's house, being the tribe of Levi, he had to look like a so-called Egyptian, which means Moses had to be a so-called black man, which means the rest of the tribe, which means his parents had to look like so-called black
My
people,
mother
as well as
is
the whole
black.
tribe of
No,
Levi
my mother
and the
is
rest
not
of the
black.
nation
She's
Israel.
Vietnamese.
That's how we all
My
looked in the
mother
beginning.
is Vietnamese, and
Okay?
my dad
That
is
is a
black.
video of her.
I was
And this is spur that I found this
raised
video
in a
because
very diverse
I was looking for what kind of
surroundings
video I could
and
find
environment,
about
which
it, and
I
Spur led
love
me to
because
this
it's made
video.
me a
And
part
it
of
was a
who I
video
am
of her
today.
mentioning her
Very
parents.
accepting of all different kinds of cultures. My number one motto in life is
That's all we need. That's all we gotta get. So she put her father is black, as I already showed you in the picture, and she said her mother is Vietnamese. And there's a lot of people out there that's like that. A lot of Jakes, a lot of Israelite men, whether they be so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans. You're Israelite based upon your father's lineage, your father to his father, going on back. Most of us can only trace, though most of us can trace back only 3 or 4 generations. We know through the spirit, because the Heavenly Father's spirit resides in the physical group of people, the Israelites, Israel, which is Hebrew for Yasha, which is the Hebrew way of saying Israel is Yashar Allah. Yah meaning he, Shar, prince, Allah meaning God or power. He prince power. He's a prince of the power. He's a prince of God. Okay? So the heavenly Father Spirit resides in a certain group of people. And then here's another rapper. Here's a rapper named Logic. Now this is him. And this is his father. See? This is his father right here. As you can clearly see, the rapper Logic, he looked like a straight up so-called white man. He like a white dude, man. Look at him. You know what I'm saying? He's like a so-called white man. Look right here. Come on, man. This guy don't look nothing like no Jake. But guess what? He's a Jake. And check this out. I saw this picture right here. This is supposed to be his wife or something. I don't know if this is true, but she looks like a so-called white woman. And if she's a so-called white woman, then guess what? If he has a child by that woman, imagine how that child gonna look. And it's supposed to be a picture of his mother. Though I'm not 100% sure. I'll just click on it just in case. There's another picture of him and his father right there. Now this is supposed to be his mother. No, see, this is not his mom. This is not his mother. It says Logic visits Angela's mom. So that's not his mother. But the other picture was a picture of his father. Here's another picture of Logic. He doesn't look like a Jake, man. He does not look like an Israelite at all whatsoever. But guess what? He's an Israelite. Let me go right here. Okay? Bear with me 1 second.
You're mixed, right? Mm-hmm. Which parent is white?
My father's black, yeah.
And your mom is white?
Yep.
Okay. Now, from first impression, though, you look white.
Of course, yeah.
You've dealt with this your whole life. So,
play this video.
Do most white people think you're white? And do black people think you're black, or is it kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I understand. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I think,
you see what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
certain different races could see different features. And
that's weird. I get that all the time. Some people think that I look Hispanic, like with my curly hair and like or whatever, and then some black people are like, oh, I know you mixed. I know you got it in you, just extra light skin, ultra light skin, like, joking around. And then some white people just think I'm just white, whatever the case. I think that's the funny part about going through all this, especially life in general, is when you're confident with who you are and you know who you are, you're set, you're golden. But if you allow other people to confuse you, you know what I mean? Then it's difficult.
But he doesn't know who he is.
If I'm like, hey, I'm mixed,
black, he's half white.
Like when I
just like the other chick, Karachi Tran, Karuchi, whatever the hell her name is.
So, but
her
it's
father's
just a
black,
perception.
her mother's
It's their
Vietnamese.
personal.
They're Israelites. That's what they are. They're really Israelites.
It's like, okay, you're a black man. So but it's just a perception. It's their I know who I am, and I'm happy with who I am, and that's kind of all that matters. But yeah, some people see different things. It's almost like I look at myself like it's like a what's it called? Is it war shot?
Trying to find something
ink blot
real quick.
mask, like ink blots. What do you see?
Well, I mean, the reason why I say it is because most times black is the dominant gene.
And that's the truth. Most of the time, the dark gene is the dominant gene. His father's a so-called black man, but his mother's a so-called white woman. Yeah, he came out looking like his mother, but he's actually an Israelite, just like the other chick. This woman right here. Dark genes are dominant. Go pick them again. She came out looking like her mother. At first glance, you think she's Vietnamese. You think she's a heathen. But they're actually Israelites. Those dark genes are dominant. She's inherited her father's complexion, but facial features is that of her mother.
You heard J. Cole's
I'm going to go to one more interview on this guy.
You heard Fire Squad?
Logic,
Yeah.
and he's actually a skillful rapper.
So,
I don't listen to modern day hip hop, but I've heard him rhyme before.
Fire Squad.
Yeah.
He's good, actually.
What are your take on? What's your take on that verse?
The race.
The race part.
Funny.
History repeats itself.
Yeah, me and Lenny were just fucking talking about this.
There you go.
So the biggest thing, I mean, even when Cole, first you have to remember that at the end of that, Cole goes, I'm just playing.
But
behind every, behind every joke is the truth, or like
Right.
whatever he says exactly. I'm not sure exactly what he says.
Yeah,
but
something like that, right.
So it's like, I get it. I get where he's coming from. But then I also look at it like, dude, so being black and white, which Cole is, I see both sides of the spectrum.
Cole's mixed?
Cole is black and white. His mother is white. His father is black.
I didn't know that.
These are things that people don't know. And that's because of like, not you, I'm just saying in general.
Right, because he looks black.
Exactly. For me, yo, man, my mentor said there's a couple things you never argue about. Race, politics, music, sports, religion. Like these things, it's not, there's no right and wrong, just straight up.
Right.
So, if somebody wants to say the Lakers are the best basketball team, and somebody's like, no, it's the Wizards or this, like it's you just sit there and talk about this shit all day. So when discussing race, I see that verse from a different perspective because, he's basically saying how Justin Timberlake, Eminem, Macklemore stole from the black man.
Right.
And
he says white people have snatched the sound.
Exactly, which is the truth. Nobody's denying that. I mean, you literally cannot deny the fact that, rock and roll was born because of blues, and the blues is black man's music.
Right.
Yo, black man, like when it comes, this is how I feel, and this is a personal opinion.
Right.
To me, man, when it comes to Sonics, like black man is God. I don't know, and that's just me, just the soul and the feeling. But I think that's also, at least in America, and what it derived to and what it became. Because then you have the Spanish, and you have Indian, you have all these things, like, and it's okay. But I'm talking about modern music and sound. What I personally feel hip hop has come from. It's come from sampling blues. It's come from sampling rock and roll. So it's like, the white man, it's funny because the black man created this incredible sound and then the white man, but I wouldn't say the white man snatched it because some of my favorite white, even that's why I hate it. For me, it's just about culture and music and sound, but if we want to take it there, white artists like the Stones, who will pay homage to these blues players and say, we were inspired by this, that, or Nirvana or Kurt Cobain writing in his book about how the white man took from the black man, blah, 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 and how much he appreciates, black culture and these things. So I look at some of my favorite people who stole, and I'm like, well, what about in the late 70s, early 80s, 90s, where then our culture of hip-hop took from some of those very same rock songs that took from those blues songs. And it's just, to me, it's just all...
like Rick Rubin was sampling a lot of rock.
Dude,
but guitar, hard guitars.
So
I
totally get where Cole's coming from.
Now, if you paid attention to what it was that he said when it comes to Sonics, the black man is God. Okay? Sonics meaning sound. Meaning when it comes to music, that the black man is God. Ain't no so-called white man gonna say that. Now, I was trying to pause the video and it wasn't pausing, so I just had to close out the page. And he made a statement about even Kurt Cobain, who was a lead member of the group Nirvana, who had the song "Smells Like Teen Spirit." I'm not saying he's a Jake, but even he had mentioned the white man took from the black man. Which, just because you're saying that doesn't mean that you're an Israelite. But I'm just saying, Logic made this statement saying, when it comes to music, the black man is God. Ain't no so-called white boy gonna just say that, And here's one last guy I'm gonna show you, which he mentioned in his interview. Logic mentioned in his interview. Okay. He mentioned J. Cole, which J. Cole is another rapper, and he actually has a song called "False Prophets," which he wasn't talking about, actually false prophets. He was talking about, different music artists that he looked up to. Kanye West is who he's speaking about, I know, in the first verse. But artists he looked up to and found out they wasn't even writing their own rhymes and things of that nature. But this is him and his mother, J. Cole, and his mother right here. It says J. Cole is half German, which ain't no such thing as half nothing. He's an Israelite, okay? That man is an Israelite. All right. So and I show you Satan is in the midst, because now all of a sudden none of this stuff want to load up. Everything want to move all slow. But it's all good. All right, so there it is. Now let's go to this little video here with him. It's gonna be real
Love
short,
you,
and then we'll
man.
leave you with these 4 scriptures. Close
Lupe,
out.
somebody who's writing in from YouTube wants to know, next album, is it going to be more like Lazers?
We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about J. Cole.
Food and liquor too. You already know.
You know what I'm saying?
Is his mom? Can you go back? You brought your mom?
He brought his
I brought my
mom.
Mama. And you brought your mom? This is hip hop. Wow. It's hip hop royalty right here.
It's a battle now.
How you doing? Pleasure to meet you. Well, I want to know.
Mama, this is Lupe Fiasco.
I want to know from each of you as moms, what is it like to have your son grow up to become a rapper, and especially a respected rapper?
It's amazing. That's all I can say with the stuff that he was writing when he first started, like 12 and 13. I would find his little tablets around. I was like, you can't say that. You know, what's that? It's rap, mom, rap. I was like, okay.
I mean, the music he makes now, you can be fully proud of as a mom, right?
Proud of. Yes, that's what I'm saying. From that extreme to what he actually put out, perfect.
Did you see your son becoming a rapper?
I wanted him to write in some form, you know, so certainly rap being, you know, it's poet. It's poetry.
She bought me that beat machine when I was 15. That's a legend. She bought me that beat
You
machine.
bought him the beat machine, so it's your fault.
It's $1,000. By the way, it's like $1,000, which was crazy. And she got it for me somehow, you know.
He was always making things happen, you know. I mean, here's a kid that was not messing around. You know, he was always reaching his goals and always working hard. And everything was always very positive.
As you can clearly see, the video is still playing, even though I closed it out. That shows you that the enemy that wants to act up. That shows you that Satan is in the midst. Okay, but you get the gist of it. So these people that I've shown you are Israelites. Now J. Cole, he obviously could pass for a so-called black man easier than the rapper Logic could. He could pass for an Israelite easier than the other two. Okay, but I want to hit these scriptures real quick. So let me go to these pictures real quick before I begin. All right, show you these people real quick. Now, if you look at her, she got a picture. Okay, this last picture I had up. She looks like she's Vietnamese. She doesn't look like an Israelite. Okay. This is the rapper Logic. He doesn't look like an Israelite either. Now, the rapper J. Cole, he can pass for an Israelite, but check this out. This is Revelation chapter 7 verse. I'm going to start from verse 1. Revelation 7:1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, meaning east, west, north, and south. 4 angels on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Holding the 4 winds of the earth, meaning they were holding back the destruction, that the destruction or the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. What destruction? The thermonuclear destruction. They were holding back the thermonuclear destruction, holding back the destruction of America, because America is Babylon the Great. And when it says holding back the destruction, in other words, the Most High has these angels set in certain places on the earth, but he has not yet allowed the angels to put the spirit on these different generals and so forth to push that button yet. So they're holding back the destruction. In other words, the order or the command was not given for the angels to put the spirit for the Most High, to allow the angels to put the spirit upon these people to press that button, because the Most High controls everything. The Most High gives the angel the order. The angel gets on. The angel jumps on that person and he gets them to press the button. So the Most High has the angel to hold them back to destruction. Okay, and I saw another angel having the seal of the living power or living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have healed the servants of our God in our foreheads. The sea is talking about the people, because when you go to the book of Revelation 17 verse 15, if I'm not mistaken, it tells you the sea, the waters that is spoken of are peoples, nations, and tongues. So it's talking about people. And it mentions the 12,000 seals out of each of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And when you go to the 9th verse, it mentions that in verse 4. So the destruction is going to be sealed until the servants of the Most High is sealed in their forehead. Okay? So until that 144,000 is sealed, 12,000 out of each of these 12 tribes of Israel, the destruction is going to be held back until that 144,000 is sealed. And it says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So a great multitude which no man can number, of all nations, kindreds, and people and tongues, meaning amongst all nations, all kindreds, and people speaking different tongues, stood before the throne and the Lamb. The Lamb is talking about Yahweh Shai, the one the world called Jesus Christ, clothed with the white robes, which represent purity, and palms in their hands. Who was this great multitude of all kindreds, of all nations, and kindreds, and people and tongues? Verse 10 it says, and cried with a loud voice, saying to our power, who sitteth upon a throne unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne with their faces and worshipped the Most High, saying, Amen, which means, so let it be. Saying, so let it be, blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our power forever and ever. So let it be. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? So one of the angels, or one of the elders or angels, said to John, because this is who wrote the book of Revelation. John was getting all these revelations, or he known as John the Revelator. He said to John, the angel said to John, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and which came they? Meaning, who are the people that are arrayed in white robes, and where did they come from? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest, you know. The reason why John said that is because John didn't know. Example, if I ask you a question and you say, you tell me, the reason why you say you tell me is because you don't know the answer. So when John was asked that question, John said, thou know. He said, you know. Or in other words, you tell me. And he said unto me, these are they which came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. So they came out of great tribulation. So in all the lands where these Israelites were scattered, they were suffering great tribulation, such as the Dalit or the Untouchables, the Punjabis of India, and in all various parts of the world. These people are Israelites, though they may look like they are of other nations, and they're suffering tribulations in the lands that they're scattered in. Okay? But let's find out who these people are that came out of different nations, kindreds, and tongues. This is Isaiah 11 and 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. That's talking about Yahweh Shai. He's that root of Jesse. Because Jesse had who? David. And through the line of David came Yahweh Shai, the one the world called Jesus Christ, who's a so-called black man, pursuing the book of Revelation, the first chapter. Okay? To which shall the Gentiles seek? That's talking about the Israelite foreigners, Israelites that scattered amongst the nations. And we just read them seeking them in Revelation, the 7th chapter. Then they say they cried to the Lamb, right? In the book of they say cried, saying salvation to our God, which sitteth upon a throne unto the Lamb. See, they were seeking Yahweh Shai. Okay? And his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day, and we're gonna have that rest in the kingdom. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, which is in Egypt, and Cush, which is in Ethiopia, and from Elam, India, and from Shinar, which Elam is the East Indians. That's Elam. Elam is the so-called West Indians. Ayalam in the Hebrew, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel. Right? They're going to assemble the outcast of Israel. When you assemble something, you're putting it together, you're bringing it together. They're going to assemble the outcast of Israel and gather the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So they're going to assemble the outcast of Israel and gather the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So all the Israelites that was outcast, that was cast out of the land and in various lands, they were outcast because they were outcast because they was in different lands, they was looking like different nations, keeping different customs. They were outcast. Okay? They're going to be assembled and gathered together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. But notice that Israel and Judah, because Judah and Israel represented two kingdoms. Judah was the southern kingdom because they dwelt in south of Jerusalem, in the south of Israel, and you had the northern kingdom, which was the other tribes that dwelt the north of Israel, northern Israel. Judah, so-called Negroes, Benjamin, so-called West Indians, Levi, the so-called Haitians, Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, Simeon, the so-called Dominicans, Manasseh, the so-called Cubans. You had Zebulon, people from Guatemala to Panama, Asher, the people from Colombia to Uruguay, Naphtali, the people from Argentina to Chile. You had Issachar, which is so-called Mexicans, Gad, the so-called North American Indians, and Reuben, which is the so-called Seminole Indians. Those are the 12 tribes of the nation Israel. You are an Israelite based upon your father's lineage, your father to his father, going on back, regardless of who your mother is, and regardless of how you look. Though you did have Israelites that were scattered among the different lands and had children, with none of the other nations, and down the line, their children may be looking like other nations. So you might have a father who might look like of another nation, or a mother that looks like of another nation, but they may be Israelites as well. You know, you might have a father like a so-called white man, but his father to his father to his father might be an Israelite. That's why the scripture tell you in Romans, I believe 8:16 or 8:17, it's the spirit that bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. Verse 13, and the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Okay, so the vexing of Israel and Ephraim, the hatred between the two kingdoms, are going to cease. The Israelites of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom are no longer going to hate one another. There's no longer going to be any hatred between the tribes. Okay, Revelation the 5th chapter. I'm gonna go right to it. This deals right with Revelation 7 about them those people that was arrayed in them white robes. Okay, and that was arrayed in those white robes. Okay, and it said they committed a great tribulation, have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb, which the Lamb was told by Yahweh, and he was slain. His blood was shed on the cross. This is Revelation 5:6. It says, and I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the four beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of the Most High, sent forth unto all the earth. Horns representing power, eyes meaning complete power and complete sight, see everything, all powerful, okay, and see over everything, okay. And which are the 7 spirits of the Most High, sent forth into all the earth, and 7 represents completion, okay. And the scriptures even speak of the 7 archangels, I believe, in the book of Tobit, in the Apocrypha. And it says, and he came out and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sung a new song, saying, thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people of the nation. See, didn't we read the same thing here in Revelation 7 chapter? It said, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. And they sung a new song, saying, thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us unto the Most High by thy blood of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Isaiah 11:12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Why? Because they was among in every kindred and every nation, amongst all different people, speaking in different tongues. Come on, man. That's talking about. And it says, verse 10, Revelation 5:10, and has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. Exodus chapter 19, verse 6, it says, this is about Israel. Let's get right to the point. Exodus 19:6, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So Israel gonna be a king, could be a kingdom of priests, right? It just said right here, thou hast made us unto our God kings and priests. Okay? There's not gonna be no queens in the kingdom, man. It's gonna be kings and princes. Women not gonna have royal titles. They're gonna be our wives. That's it. So that being said, the people that I've shown you in this video, they may look like they're of other nations, which he could pass for Israelite J. Cole, but the other two, they clearly look like they're of other nations, but their parents are actually Israelites. See right here? Their parents are actually Israelites, regardless of how they look. So she's an Israelite. I'm not saying people are going to be delivered, but they can. They're going to be in the kingdom anyway, whether they are saved, whether they're part of elect or not, because they're Israelites. Now, if they're part of 2/3, which more than likely they are, they're going to come back reborn in the kingdom anyway, inherit the kingdom. But regardless of how they look, they're going to be in the kingdom because they're Israelites. So she's an Israelite, though she doesn't look like one. He's an Israelite, though he doesn't look like one, because their parents, their fathers specifically, I should say, are Israelites. And his father's an Israelite. So their mothers may be heathens, but they're still Israelites. So with that, I'm going to close. I hope you brothers learned something. Shalom.